Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ebony Championship Wrestling, where we hit the mat running with all things WWE. We dive into the biggest moments, the hottest rivalries, and we give the boldest predictions in pro wrestling. Tonight, we all throw up the ones as the OG Bloodline gets back together like the Temptations when David Ruffin was sober. The boys are here, wrestling is cool, and this is the ECW show. Let's get to it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Ebony Championship Wrestling. The boys are here, and we're here to have a little bit of fun tonight as we're going to jump right into the lightning round. It's your boy, Jackie Miles, here as your host, and I'm here with none other than Griff, a.k.a. Griff Nation, and Coach Montay. We're excited to be here tonight. Let's go ahead and jump right into the lightning round as we talk about all things WWE. Let's start with, Coach, I'm going to throw this over to you. The seeds of dissension continue to show between Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Big E is going to have to separate them like Jonathan Majors when he broke up that fight on social media that one time. What are your thoughts here as the New Day, shows that they're going to break up soon?
The ECW fam knows how I feel about the New Day, and I've been waiting for this day. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning, going to the tree, and I'm just ready for the gift to be opened. It's perfect timing, man. It's simmering and brewing. Xavier is doing this obviously to to get a new run. He has to be a great heel, but yes, it's needed. But you mentioned Big E. And I think it'll be cool. I'm not sure when he's going to get cleared or whatnot, but I think to add some more spice to it, to the breakup, yes, he does need to come back in and see if he can be the voice of reason, I should say. But that's going to make Xavier's heel turn even more darker because he gonna kick both their asses. So I mean, that's far fetched, but it's the last ditch effort to try to save the New Day, which will add to a storyline. But yeah, this doesn't need a belt. This is just, hey, this is the New Day culminating a 10-year run, and they need to go their separate ways. But adding Big E would be, yeah, we miss him, and that'll be it's what will be needed to add a little more spark to the feud. Yep.
Griff, any thoughts here?
Not at all, man. Big E is rumored to be at the reunion here in a couple of weeks when that happens, and we'll see what happens. Either he's going to bring them together or they're just going to unfold. So I'm optimistic to see what happens.
Yeah, so am I. Griff, over to you. The Wyatt Six finally left in a whole heap of trouble as Miz and Karrion Kross worked together to set them up. What do you see happening here with this faction feud?
Ooh. Man, that's a good one. I didn't see this one coming. Again, great sell on the Miz. I really thought, the Miz was on his way back to a different journey. Made peace with the Y6, and apparently it was a setup the whole time. But I think having this veteran leader behind Karrion Kross and LP itself is really going to help and catapult this faction itself. So I'm looking forward to, again, this is another situation. You have two factions that is brewing a good storyline here, but you have a Miz that's a veteran that we didn't see to be part of this storyline, but at the same time, see it's going to help catapult Karrion Kross and LP itself, man, to this. So I'm very excited to see where this go. And Miz, look out. Uncle Howdy and the Red Riot is coming for you, man. But, I'm all in for it.
Yeah, last week, a couple weeks ago, I said that this would definitely help the authors of Pain and Karrion Kross because they need somebody to be that good mouthpiece. Karrion Kross speaks well, but they need somebody that's going to put them over the top. Coach, any thoughts here?
No, yeah, it's necessary. Getting Paul Ellering out, and it's funny. I just noticed it. Like, yeah, Paul Ellering's out, Miz is in. It makes him even better. So yeah, I'm down for it. It takes him to a whole nother level, which is needed.
Griff, back over to you. It felt weird seeing Candice LeRae without seeing Indy Hartwell. We didn't really discuss the releases, but these releases felt a little different. What are your thoughts here, Griff?
Yeah, it did feel different, especially when you seeing Candace and Indy both in the storyline in the women's division these last couple of weeks, and Indy getting involved in a lot of Candace matches, and then also in the release. So my heart goes out to Indy. I've been following her on her socials. She seems to be doing pretty well and in great spirits about the release and everything, and just happy she had this opportunity. But it did catch it off guard. 'Cause again, anytime that you were involved on TV, and we know how much Indy and Candace were really good friends on and off camera. You thought that there was something that was brewing and something that was going to be a great story that comes into place with that. But then, unfortunately, the release came, and that's just part of the business, part of WWE. So yeah, I'm in shock, but at the same time, I'm not, holding no punches or grudges on me. Indy, my girl, she gonna be good wherever she decides to do, and the door is open anytime that she wants to return, or if they see to bring her back in later down the road.
Not you opening the door for WWE. Coach, any thoughts here?
No, I didn't. I never really connected with Indy.
Sure.
Obviously, she needed Kansas to stay high. Wish she would have got herself over, but I've never had that connection with her. But yeah, wish her the best. From what we saw on her socials, she's doing fine. But wish she would have got herself over, without Candace. So yeah, wish her the best.
Okay, back to you as the tag team guru. Tommaso Ciampa, excuse me, starting to show his black heart side while Gargano looks to extend the olive branch to MCMG. What are your thoughts here on the tag division and Ciampa looking to turn heel?
I was waiting for it. This is, they had their run. And obviously they had their high profile matches. Obviously, right now the top 3 tag teams in the company, obviously Street Profits and them losing the Motor City Machine Guns out the bat. So where else can they go from here? They had their run. They told their story in the summertime. Had the run with the belts. Now it's time for Tommaso to really fly. I think that first heel run didn't get off and needed Miz, but I think now seeing his old NXT gimmick will obviously be refreshing and what he needs to get him back going. So I'm here for it. I'm ready to see it now on the main roster.
Griff, any thoughts on Tommaso Ciampa and the tag division?
Yeah, I think we had called this quite some time ago a heel turn for both DIY for Johnny and Tommaso. I think Tommaso's going to lead that fire for this heel turn because you got too many faces outside the bloodline that's baby faces that's tag teams outside the bloodline. So you need another good heel turn. I think this is the right time for these two to do it, and I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to break, but yeah, definitely a heel turn between these two. Definitely would be a great story and great run.
Okay. Gunther and Damian Priest are headed into action against one another. The way that they're booking this, does this make Gunther look weak? Or are we just trying to build up Damian Priest? Griff, this is over to you.
I think it's more making Gunther look weak, just by Damian's breaking Gunther down, for the loss of Cody, and then, going back to SummerSlam stating that Finn didn't get involved in that match. He definitely would have won that match as well, too. And then Gunther just backing down, not saying much. But somewhere in there, Gunther feels some type of way losing to Cody and feels like that spirit is broken. And I think just right now, Gunther just kind of like in shock, you know what I'm saying? But he's going to figure it out. And this is going to like him to come better. And this time around, without any interference, hopefully there's no interference, that he really proved to Damian that he is that ring general and the world heavyweight champion, beat him fair and square, so he can come back and say, hey, no interference, I really got you. I was shook for this couple weeks after that, but after that, you came and told me about myself. You made me wake up the monster inside. Now, this is a new me.
Coach, what do you think about the Ludwig Kaiser piece of this?
It's the psych. It's actually the perfect storm because you got. I don't agree with Gunther showing his vulnerability. I mean, I know sometimes a heel has to show that he's not invincible. You can take you can't take some L's, you can't take a setback, but you still need to be booked strong. And so I'm not really agreeing with him looking like, he's weak, but I don't agree with that part. But Ludwig needs to be in. I think he's ready for the spotlight. Eventually he is they're planting the seeds for him to finally step up to Gunther, and and those interactions like, hey, I don't need you to speak for me. All that's leading down the road of, hey, eventually they gonna turn on each other. But it's necessary. It's part of the part of him stepping out on his own. So this needs to happen, but not agreeing with Gunther looking weak, man. So I'm not feeling that at
all. Speaking of looking weak, in previous episodes, Griff, you sent the promo over to us in the chat. The Street Profits look like they're getting ready to turn another leaf. So I would love to get both of your opinions here. Do you believe them this time, Griff? I guess is my question.
When I saw that promo, I'm not gonna lie, it caught my attention. Let's just say that it caught my attention, and this is like something that we all been calling and we all been waiting for. As far as the belief, I can't believe it till I see the job get done. We've been this route plenty of times and opportunities and never came through. So, I mean, the promo itself caught my attention. It made me, like, as a fan, like, okay, I want to believe in you and I believe what you're saying. But as far as, like, what's going to happen, until I see it happen, them straps come across, then I'll fully believe it. So right now, you got my attention. It's all talk, but the job's not done.
Great point.
Yeah. It's been all talk, man. That's what they're known for. They great promos regardless of where they are. And obviously they've been scrapping for these belts for the longest. But I'm just like Griff, believe it when I see it, and and based on what we talked about last week in our dark match, it's either now or never. Because one of these dudes is gonna. We already know it. The more disgruntled they get, Tony and AEW looking better and better every day. So let's just hope they don't go that route. But it's inevitable, man. It's either now or never. They got to do something, or something gonna shake.
Yeah, I agree with you guys with the now or never sentiment. It's just you want them to be successful, I guess, is my thing. You want them to find some success. You want them to be on the show, actually doing something positive, and we haven't seen that in quite some time. Pretty much the whole run of our podcast has been us wanting and craving for them to be successful, and still haven't gotten there yet. Maybe year three of this.
Jackie, what we talked about, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on it because I know that was between me and Griff. Is Montez justified by at least flirting with AEW right now? I mean, just your quick thoughts before we go to the next subject. Just wanted to know what you thought on him being disgruntled and possibly making a move.
I think the conversation is, as always, the grass is always greener on the other side, but you don't know what their water bill is. It's one of those moments where it may look appealing over there on the other side. Like Ricochet is kind of going through that right now, where it looked great on the other side, but you got to realize, what are you actually trying to get to as a wrestler? Are you trying to just be on the show and like doing all the high flying stuff, or do you actually want to tell stories? And I think if Montez actually wants to tell stories, then he needs to stay where he's at. Bobby leaving makes sense. MVP leaving makes sense. Shelton leaving makes sense because they're older guys. They've been around for the last 20 years, and they're at the end of their time. And that's okay to go over there and live it out and finish up over there. But I think if Montez actually wants to put forth an effort and be a single star, he needs to stay where he is, or else he's going to get lost in the shuffle if he goes over to AEW. So I want him to stay there. Right. I want him to. I want him to have the singles career with Dawkins by his side. Why can't a single star be a single star inside of a faction? Why do they have to separate themselves in order to be pushed forward? I want the faction piece of it. So, last but not least, I'm sorry, not last. I got two more things to ask about. Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins continue to elevate their rivalry. Where does this rank on your list of rivalries from year to 2024? Griff, any thoughts?
Hmm. Wow, that's a good question.
I can't give it an exact number, but I definitely will put this one top 3, maybe top 5, possibly top 3 for sure. All because it's a good consistency and it's repetitiveness. You know what I'm saying? It's really catapulting Bronson Reed in a sense. It's giving him a lot of not just mic time, but a lot of backstage segments. There's a lot of work backstage. There's a lot of work being in the ring. There's a lot of work of just um, controlling the camera, controlling the crowds, all these aspects, and using someone like Seth Rollins to help build that. It's making him a lot better, but also it's making Seth better. We all know Seth gets better no matter who he is in the ring and working with. But more importantly, Bronson Reed, who early in the year had the opportunity in Elimination Chamber, but couldn't do that. Then had another couple title shots, couldn't do it. So with him just sticking, being faithful, sticking around, and um, going through those motions and not getting, been out of shape, getting an attitude and things like that, we're finally getting his payoff. And a lot of times the payoff is not rewarded with a belt. Sometimes it's rewarded with a great storyline and a great spot on television each and every week. Starting off the shows, coming out middle of the shows, getting involved with the GMs and securities and, everything else. So definitely top 5, but possibly a top 3 right up there in my book for this rivalry.
So a good top 4 is what we'll say. Coach, go ahead.
Yeah.
I've actually put it top 3 because it's this feud has just been about Bronson Reed, period. Seth Rollins is a star, Seth Rollins is the man, but he had to have something credible. I don't think Braun Strowman was enough. But Seth Rollins put this guy right in that upper echelon as, hey, I can be your world heavyweight champion. And so now in 2025, when they finally do put a strap on him, the fans are not going to blink twice. They know the credibility is there, the work's been there, and truth be told, they're gonna love a good heel run. They might be behind them. Who knows by then. So everything is building, but this has been strictly about Bronson Reed. Seth Rollins doesn't need the rub. Seth Rollins is all about making new stars, and that goes to show you the workhorse. And while I don't have the belt, I'm still building stars. One thing about that couple is love to hate them. Hey, nothing hating on his wife, but hey, they know how to build the future. So that's one thing I will give them. But yeah, this been nothing about Bronson Reed, and he's ready, man. Going into Mania season, look out. But yeah, I think they got it. I think I'll go at it one last time on Raw here for next week, and then then let it go. And Bronson Reed's a bona fide star out of this.
Yeah, I think Seth was begging for that match before the whole joining the Bloodline conversation started.
Yeah, that was old.
But I think Bronson Reed, Carmelo Hayes, and Braun Breaker, them coming up from NXT, they've been handled so well because they've all been pushed with a star that is already established, and we're going to make you better because you are rubbing with this guy. And I think that's what the wrestling business is all about. It's like, how do we get this next guy over? And we organically build him up. And those 3 guys, especially Bronson Reed, since the 6 tsunamis or whatever the number was, has been handled very, very well. So it's nice to see organic stars starting to come out of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, you look like you had something else.
Oh no, I'm agreeing with you, man.
And then last but not least, the Jet Beauties are rumored to be breaking up sometime soon, and I would love to get your thoughts here. Because I don't want it. I mean, now that they've been together, I didn't want them truly together at the first place, but I don't want it. So I'd love to hear your feelings here. Coach, start off with you.
Yeah. Oh, it's just side note. PSA I got your take from like a month ago, I believe, saying that Jay could be the heel. So when I was agreeing with you, I did hear you say that first. So that's just to remind you. But no, after hearing and what you guys thought, who needs to be that heel in that feud, Yeah, I actually called for that a long time ago. I think when we first started the podcast, I have either way, it's gonna be money. So like I'm just here for it. I'm just gonna be a fan and love it. But no, it needs to happen, Jackie. It needs to happen sooner than later. I understand why you would need to keep them together, but it's these two ladies need to go fly on their own. My concern, it's all three of our concerns, is what Jade can do. Can she hold it down? Back in that driver's seat herself. That's really going to be the telltale sign. And I think once Triple H, once the company feels that she's ready, then yes, we'll have a money feud. But no, I'm ready for Bianca to get back into her own deal personally, and she's been helping her. She's been they've been training. And she's ready. I just want to make sure that I'm Vegas. I just want them to be ready for Vegas. That's as long as she's good by that time in 2025, I'm here for it. But now, right now, start to plant the seeds of doubt. And that was what you mentioned about the Royal Rumble. That I think that's the perfect time to do it. So, but either way, this needs to happen with either one of them. My preference is for Jade to be the heel because I just feel that that she's got the swag. But either way, I'm here for it. It's money. Take my money.
Um, y'all know I've been calling this all year. It's the Bianca heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca been faced too long, in my view. She did incredible time building herself up as a great baby face. We know even if she goes heel, she still will be considered somewhat a baby face by a lot of her fans. But I think the heel run for her is a lot better. But the rumor part itself, there's a lot of rumors swearing that they don't get along backstage and things like that. One thing I will say, they did show up to the arena separate from themselves, but on Jade's part, just interacting with her for the first time, shout out to her. Interacting with her, I really felt like embraced, and more importantly, I felt warmed and comfort around her. And I say all that to say, the way she handled people, the way she talked, the way she was excited, or her energy, I can tell, like, going what you were saying, Coach. I mean, she right now got it. She can do it right now if they really make that split call, in my opinion, from what I saw. But this is something that with these two, you don't want to rush and you don't want to make that mistake. And I'm sure they probably having meetings and phone calls like, man, should we pull the trigger by the end of this year? Should we put it at the Royal Rumble? I know those things are happening, but they have to be very careful with this one because this is a very big investment.
Yep.
But as far as the rumors concerned, again, y'all know how I feel about rumors until it happens, until I see it, until it really come out on the real report. And that's when I believe it. But till then, they're the tag champs. They figure a way as professionals and adults to get along on camera and do things together. So right now, to me, just a rumor. As far as like when this happens, I'm still sticking with Bianca being the heel and the one to carry. I think she'll have much to say about Jade and her career and how she started in AEW, making that personal. I think that will like catapult Jade to even come up as a high baby face as Bianca goes that route. So yeah, I'm enjoying this journey with them as tag champions, but sooner or later it's coming, and Bianca's the one going heel for me.
It's hard to believe that they're not getting along backstage. Am I tripping on that, or do y'all believe that? Like it's for me, it's hard to believe because it's on screen. It does look organic, and then at the same time, I think the stuff with Vince McMahon and Sasha and Naomi from previous stuff, I don't think like we as black people can be in those spaces and not comfort each other. I don't feel like we're in the space of that in our world right now. I don't think we're in that space in wrestling, honestly, especially around the black men aren't being pushed thing. I don't think that they could be backstage having these arguments. And if they are, what are we doing? Right. So I don't know if I truly believe that. And I want to see them stay together a little bit longer. Go ahead, Coach.
Nah, speaking of those ladies getting in the back, if y'all remember that small part on Vince's documentary, man, those ladies love him when they was all in the back and they all hugged him after that. I think that was at Mania. At Mania 22 when he did that spot with Theory. Man, all those ladies loved on him, man, like he was their dad. So I mean, they had love for Vince, so And that was just what we saw. But no, yeah, it's tough to believe. I'm with you, Jackie. It's tough to believe that they don't get along.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's why. Yeah, no, I was gonna say that's just what I said about the whole rumor part. Rumors is rumor until proven, by a fact or proven to his innocence. Like I said,
Sure.
being around Jay and everything yesterday, of course, Bianca didn't ride with her. Again, being cautious because sporter situations, but I just don't believe that because, it was show, and then as much as they been together doing segments, doing promos, doing shows, doing appearances together, if it was heat like that, WWE would not be putting them together to do those appearances, things like that, if it was really heat and tension between those two. But yeah, to me, it's just rumor because, especially with women, if it was like some tension or things like that, you would see it and pick it up on it. You know what I'm saying? Like something would be off, whether it be their entrance or something in the ring or something they do a promo. You will pick that up. But no, man, I'm with you, Jack. And like I state, man, rumors are rumors until it's proven a fact.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't want them to split. If they do, obviously we all have our different thoughts on who should be the heel in the situation. But either way, I think we're going to get some magic from it if it's done the right way. So we'll see. Speaking of done the right way, let's move on to the main event for the night, as I have two topics for you guys. First of all, the pile driver heard around the world happened on Friday night. And listen, when you talk about a protected move in WWE, like in wrestling period, when you talk about a protected move, this is such a great way to do this. And like Brian and I were looking at the screen like, why the hell is this segment taking so long? But then as I thought about it, it's like you have to drag it out to like really increase the intensity of the move itself. And so I think this is great storytelling. I've been a fan of Kevin Owens' storyline ever since this guy started. But this just takes off in a whole nother direction. So I would love to get your thoughts. Griff, go ahead and start us off with this one.
No, first and foremost, it took everything in me not to text in the group because I did not know where you guys' whereabouts was or if you guys were watching live when I saw it. But immediately when he did that, first thing I said was, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? That move is banned, like, immediately. But remember what we talked about last week about this new heel shift and this new heel turn, and Triple H planted that seed a few weeks ago when he kept telling Randy, like, yo, bro, like, I'm protecting you, you know what I'm saying? And Randy like, no, I want Kevin. So to incorporate, I don't know if it's a disrespect, it's a slap in the face. I know they trust Kevin because Kevin is one of the trustworthy people to do that type of move to a Randy Orton in a bad move like that. But in this story, what they're doing with Kevin, you bringing in a banned move and dang there, like could have paralyzed and broke someone's neck. I mean, story-wise, but the producers, everybody in the ring, the referees, even Michael Cole and Corey Graves told a great story. Like, literally, like, what are you doing? Even Corey Graves threw the headset down to help Randy Orton. So the biggest thing with this whole story and this whole heel run Kevin is on, it seems like everybody's playing a big major factor to the point where everybody's against Kevin. But Kevin, like his shirt says, Kevin was right. So Kevin's playing this villain, but the whole time, like, he's really correct and right about the way he's going at it. Just like how Thanos was in the Marvel. Thanos went about it the wrong way, but he was right about what the stuff that he was saying and he was talking about.
I don't know, man. I'd like to snap half of America off the face right now. Coach, any thoughts?
It's his best work because clearly when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is great storytelling. It was a great move. Randy did an awesome job of selling the stretcher, and so that's yeah. I don't know how long he moaned and groaned, but he moaned and groaned for like 10 minutes. But all right, you doing it? You're really milking this, Randy. Great job. But no, the word that comes to mind is, as I'm thinking about it, is unhinged. And the only way to to kind of corral that, who are they playing up to stop the unhinged beast? You already know this is him and Cody are going to go at it again eventually. Obviously, when Randy comes back, so it's clear cut. It's Randy KO and Cody will take us into 2025 with this feud some way somehow. But no, it's Kevin Owens' best work. It's a totally different twist, and it's making the WWE universe hate him even more. But this time, as the shirt says, Kevin is right, and we've said it all along. I've been with them, but yeah, all the actions are justified. But this other side of him makes the story even better, and I love it, man. Let's I don't know. I think timing wise, maybe if they plan for Randy to really be out during for War Games, so and maybe bring him back for 2020. I think that was a call. Maybe like, hey, let's bring him back for Rumble and send him in the Mania season. Make sure he's healthy and ready to go. So it's a good way to protect the talent, and then obviously have this hot feud. When he's ready to come back. So I'm with it, man. But KO's best work. Period.
Yeah, literally that, right? Like there are so many elements to this because it sprawls out in so many different ways, right? You still got the Cody factor in this. You still got Sami Zayn to an extent, right? Because no matter when Kevin Owens turns, it's always a thought of like, okay, Sami Zayn was the first one to experience this in WWE on WWE TV, right?
Yep.
So you always got to think about how Sami is involved in this, and then how is Kevin Owens involved with the Bloodline, right? It all kind of is one big soup because Kevin Owens is that good, and he's done well this year to make you care about the things that he's done, right? And I think that's what separates this feud, this rivalry, whatever you want to call it, from the rest, because you actually care about this one. You actually care about the people involved. You care about the things that they're doing. And again, like the CM Punk Drew McIntyre feud, it's outside of the ring. We haven't even had a match between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton yet, and still it's one of those things that could easily be feud of the year if we wanted to talk about it. So Kevin Owens is carrying this pretty much by himself, and Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes are playing great side characters to KO. And then let's go to the topic of the hour, gentlemen, as we all have on some sort of black and red in this screen right now, as we make our way towards Survivor Series. And right now we see 4-on-4, but it looks like it's going to be 5-on-5 in War Games as the OG Bloodline takes on the new Bloodline. And I'm ones all day, but man, it's hard to root against Solo right now. So I would love your thoughts. Coach, start us off.
Oh man, it's almost like they're gonna play this like, hey, I'm thinking about 96 Bash at the Beach. Who's the fifth man? Because that it has to be a mystery at this point. Because I did not like the move coming at Seth Rollins, though. I just thought that was desperate. I'm like, okay, well, not him. I mean, I get it, but I was like, nah, I did not like them coming at Seth. I mean, let him. I get it, the ties are there, but it was just like, okay, that wasn't the right time for the pitch. But but no, I'm Paul Heyman still has to factor into this some way somehow. Maybe bringing another member. There's Solo, and of course, though, hey, New School's got something up their sleeve too. And it's all a mind game. Obviously, they messing with anybody that basically that Roman wants to, Sammy wanted to recruit. Solo's like, hey, well, no, you need to join this team. So all of that was, we know why that happened. But no, it definitely shouldn't be Seth. But for the first time, gentlemen, I'm at the edge of my seat. I honestly don't know. I'm like Bully Ray and our boy on Dave on Busted Open. They trying to figure it out too. So we just gotta watch. but either way, I think we still got a couple weeks. So yeah, they'll get there. But right
Griff?
now, I don't know.
Same little headache. The fifth person is not a mystery, and I'll leave it at that. But with that being said, I really wish it was the 4-4, which I thought it was. With the OG and these four here, but they're going with the 5. And that's okay, But Jackie, like you said, it's hard to root against Solo, especially with the interaction he gave yesterday. Try to force me to acknowledge him, and not wearing any of his gear. And I'm like, well, bro, WWE, they got to drop your gear because I've been waiting for you to drop some gear all year long, and no one ain't dropping none of your Solo gear. But man, this is long term storytelling. It's so much to go into on both sides of this place. You see like the 2.0 bloodline, but then you see the OG bloodline coming, together. Maybe it's just me, fellas, but we all knew that this was going to happen with Sammy coming back to the fray. But I kind of think it was rushed a little bit, not like in a bad rush, but kind of like rushed, like it came quicker than expected. I guess I'm trying to say. I thought it'd probably be a little bit more build or a little bit more, something deep and personal. But I think the biggest thing now is getting Roman to swallow his ego and pride and just apologize, bro. Like that's the biggest thing. Like, yo, we with you, but dude, you just need to apologize. It's okay to apologize, and I think that's the biggest thing. I think they're intact, but I think they really fully is not in strength until Roman really steps up and makes the apology to Jay and put that situation to pass. So, yeah, man, I'm excited to see what this leads to. But I think the biggest thing for Roman and OG Bloodline is Roman needs to apologize before War Games, and so they could be a strong unit going in.
Yeah, Griff, you're onto something. I thought for sure it was a little rushed. I thought that it was going to take longer to get to this point of cohesion. But also at the same time, it kind of makes sense because it's like, why not? Survivor Series, War Games is the time to bring about a team. And then you're headed into the fallout, which is essentially Royal Rumble, then Mania. So, why not? Why not push it ahead? I just think we probably got too many storylines happening in our brains that we foresee and want and all of that. So we can fantasy book this all day. But, the timing is the timing. It's going to be right no matter what they do because of the people that are involved, right? I don't think that there is one weak person in this in the group of 8 so far. Griff, obviously you were at Raw last night, so you know a little bit more than we know as far as next week goes. But to me, I don't think there's a weak person in this, and I think this whole storyline carries WWE on its own, right? I don't think that there is a bigger storyline in wrestling right now than what is the Bloodline going on 4 years plus. And for it all to come down to this, again, civil war in a sense, for the second year straight. Yeah. So Roman, no matter what he's doing right now, carries this company, even if he doesn't have the title. Go ahead, Coach. You got something?
I am appreciative of Griff. No, I'm with you. I share the same sentiment that I knew that, yes, there was a sense of rush of getting it, especially when Sammy came back in the fold. I kind of wanted them to flirt with that Solo little piece there a little bit longer to kind of build some more suspense. Yeah. That's what I wanted. They could have played on that. They could have mind freaked the fans a little bit more with that. But okay, we're here. The thing I am appreciative of is that there's still seeds of discourse. They're still not on the same page. They're not, obviously Jimmy's still not feeling Sammy, even though we're gonna throw him up, but I still don't like you, fool. You know how the way that goes. So that's what they're thinking right now. And which is cool. That's the way it should be. You really won't see that full reconciliation until after the match. You got to go through. You might not be able to get there until the war. And so, and with Roman, hey y'all, that's why I did this. Roman is not going to apologize because he still got to leave that little bit of heel Roman there. To, hey, I'm still Roman. I still don't care. The only thing I care about is my Ulafala. I said that right, and and getting my my championship back. I did say it right. But no, there's still the seed of doubt. Roman still needs to mess with the universe. Like, hey, I know y'all feeling me right now in this OTC face roll, but I'm still at my core, I can still go back to that beast Roman, that went on that 4-year run, and I think he's kind of leaving that. Hey, I don't. He can't go fully over and apologize. I'm not expecting him to get soft right now. That's not his character. So they're playing it right now.
Yeah, I mean, Roman is still Roman, so at the end of the day, you're gonna push your top guy to the top, right? And so I'm intrigued to see what he does as far as WrestleMania goes, because he's not lined up with Cody right now, other than they may be aligned in this War Games thing, but they're not aligned to like feud in any sort. So I'm intrigued to see how he comes out of this and goes into Mania season and what they have planned for him, because we all agree he's still the top guy even though he doesn't have the belt, right?
Sure. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Can we just acknowledge the fact too when Roman came out to Solo and said like, I want to challenge you 1-on-1, and this the fact Solo made Roman seem so small and just laughed at him like, bro, I ain't finna face you 1-on-1. Like,
I gotta fight
is you crazy? Like, I don't need to face you 1-on-1. But in that moment, with him being the former enforcer and Roman the former apparently so-called on tribal chief and head of the table. And you know what? And one guy I talked to yesterday, he brought up a good point, and I didn't think about this, and it just came to me just now. He said, if you pay attention, Solo has been saying he's the tribal chief, but he never mentioned one time about being the head of the table. So you have to put that in a factor too, that it's a possibility that Big Cuz is lurking around somewhere as well too, pulling a lot of strings. So he was like, that's the difference with the Roman. He said Roman was the tribal chief and head of the table. He said this one, Solo's the tribal chief, but he never mentioned he was ever the head of the table. And I'm like, that's a good point.
That's a great point. That's a great point, especially if we want to head toward Rock and Roman at some point, if that's where we're going. You know, so you always have that lingering fact of what Dwayne feels in this whole conversation. Him coming out and doing the 1, 2, 3 thing was weird in hindsight, now that we haven't had anything happen since, but you know, he's still lingering. So, you know, you always got to factor in how he feels about this. Okay. All right. Anything else on your hearts, gentlemen? Anything else on your wrestling mind as we go ahead and shut this one down this week?
Either give Naomi a belt or turn her heel.
I apologize. That's on me, Griff. I know exactly what you're thinking, because I sure enough forgot, and it was not in my notes, and I apologize. But speaking of giving Naomi a belt, do you think she deserves the United States belt? Yeah, the United
States women's belt
championship. How do we feel about that? Are you saying Naomi, coach?
I love it. I loved it. And the first star I thought about was Naomi. I was like, put it on Naomi. I said, since we can't, it's perfect for her. You know, represent, you know, kind of that mid card. If you're not gonna let her be a top lady, go ahead and put it on as a mid card lady. So it's picture perfect for her.
And Coach, I genuinely disagree because, and I know Jackie won't like this one, but I technically had either Meacham or Chelsea Green being the first one to pull out of this situation, all because Naomi had world titles, and you can plug her into any type of storyline. I don't think she really needs it or need to be the first at the moment, but especially the year and the work Chelsea Green and Meacham has been putting in this year, I think to me those are the top two candidates that you need to put that on first, in my opinion.
I don't agree. I don't truly disagree with the Michin thing. I think she's had a great year, but I think from a character standpoint, nobody's had a better year, male or female, in my eyes, than Chelsea Green.
Chelsea, agreed.
You know, you think back to what, a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe she was with Sonya Deville and she carried that. Then you put her with Piper out of nowhere. She carried that. You know, like I think, you know, so she's had a while here where she's been, to me, the best character on screen. And so I think you got to reward her with something. And I think this is a great thing for her to get for that reward. I'm intrigued though, does this come with an Intercontinental Championship as well, or are we only doing the US Championship?
I would assume they would have did Intercontinental, but from what I'm hearing, is that this is gonna be the U.S. and that's gonna be, I guess, Raw and SmackDown.
Okay.
Both ends too, and then also another person just came to me too. My third person I had was, of course, Zelina Vega, but definitely my top two just because of the work and consistent work putting in on all three brands all year, and especially throughout the summer. Meechin and Chelsea Green, definitely. I know, y'all know Zelina, my girl, but I don't think she's been putting in as much work as those two these last few months. So she's third on my list, but those two definitely. But Chelsea's definitely number one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. We'll figure that out sooner or later, I'm sure. And as the wrestling world continues to turn, we'll continue to show up here and give our thoughts about it, give our hot takes, and continue the discussion amongst ourselves. So, with that being said, boys, let's go ahead and close this one on out. And Griff, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah. ECW fan, you can locate me on Instagram, GriffNation84, and also on X, formerly known as Twitter, CGriff84.
Coach?
You can find the coach on IG at Coach Montay 24.
You can follow me at Jackie Miles 42 on Instagram and on Twitter. Follow BDixx on Instagram at B_DIXX. Follow us all on Instagram at Ebony Championship Wrestling and on X at Ebony Championship Rest. Check us out on YouTube under the same name. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell so that you are notified every time that the boys hit your screen. This is Ebony Championship Wrestling signing off. But Coach, let them know.
But we never tapping out.
Not once. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a beautiful evening. Peace.
Appreciate you.